they're going to run those bars. And indeed, because of those interests perhaps that the police had, this could have led to the great illicit brew industry that has been thriving for a long time. It clearly shows that the Deputy President understands that the police officers are supposed to enforce, not to be lax with the work they're doing. So we really appreciate what the government is doing, because in the end of the day, for even the bottom-up agenda to be successful, you need a healthy, sober, focused population. And if we have quite a big number of young people, very unfortunate for the deaths of those 17 and many other souls that have been lost due to illicit alcohol. Indeed, this is a fight that the government is taking serious, and it has shown its seriousness from the beginning. Just to point out a bit what the Deputy President has been doing, where this fight started off in Mount Kenya, and he has really followed up and shown a lot of strong leadership. And this commitment that he has shown has led to quite significant awareness creation on that. And apart from the awareness creation, action is being seen on the ground.
Yeah, and just on that, we've seen now it's a crackdown that is happening in the whole country. But of course, we're having some businesses that are run legitimately. That is just from the offices and the people, that is from the offices and the DCC that have been told to shun from the business. But now, what happens to the economy if we're having the legitimate businesses going to be shut down?
You see, we have to get to a point as a nation where we have to agree what comes first. If you look at the history of alcohol globally, alcohol, actually, we lose 3 million people according to the WHO globally. I think in Kenya, alcohol-related deaths run to the thousands per year. And therefore, this is a national disaster. This is something that we need to deal with once and for all. And you can see even what the Deputy President is doing, what the President is doing, what even the spouse of the Deputy President is doing, as she's locally known as Mama Boys, in terms of social health rehabilitation of the men, the boy child, who especially has suffered quite a lot because of the alcohol. And you can even see now Kindiki has come up with a national operation whereby they are going to curtail and bring to an end the manufacturing and the production of illicit brew, because this illicit brew is actually a detriment than a positive one. However, because the laws of Kenya do allow alcohol consumption with control, and this is what I would like to actually acknowledge His Excellency Governor Sakaja of Nairobi County. You remember sometime last year, people were fighting him because he tried to have Alcohol Control Act implemented in Nairobi, especially in the estates, because this is where we have young kids, children, university students using and abusing alcohol. And alcohol also leads to alcoholism and alcohol-related effects like mental health issues. And that's why you see our young people look helpless because of the alcohol consumption. And furthermore, I personally, I would appreciate if the Deputy President and His Excellency Sakaja would look into the importation factor. Because what we also have, apart from the illicit brew that is being manufactured illegally here, there is an influx of proper alcohol, but there is an influx of importation. I mean, alcohol is being imported in its, what do you call it, cubic meters. And this alcohol, how much is it costing our economy? And who's really making the money in this alcohol? So we require much more stricter regulations to how much alcohol can be imported into our country. Because if we can regulate the alcohol production and get proper alcohol manufacturing according to standards, we would rather invite those companies that are manufacturing alcohol abroad to come and manufacture here in Kenya, so that they can create employment for people of Kenya. Because it's quite a loss economically, financially, when all our money goes abroad, and yet our industries here are left struggling. So that we can improve from the third generation and become a better local alcohol producing country. Yes.
Now that you mentioned that the regulation, if it happens, maybe we might achieve maybe an alcohol-free country. The illicit brew and the alcohol industry really contributes to the economy of the country. Now, what happens to those people that depend on the illicit brew and the alcohol businesses to make their fortunes?
I mean, like I said earlier, there is nowhere in the world you'll be allowed to continue making money illicitly or illicit money. It's against the Constitution, it's against the penal code, it cannot be accepted. Therefore, those people who are engaged in illicit alcohol production look for another business. Because the government of Kenya Kwanza is serious about dealing with alcohol production. Because they understand. And I don't know why today it seems like this war on alcohol is mainly moving towards Rigathi Gachagua. He pointed out that Kenya was about to lose a whole generation of young people. And these young people, the things they are consuming are being produced by manufacturers who are illicit. So there's no way in this day and age we can accept that, and it's unacceptable. Therefore, look for another career. Engage in more legal means of producing alcohol. Get proper investors to work with you so that you can do the proper business, not the illegal alcohol. Because it leads to death, it leads to more loss of life, it leads to more family breakages, it leads to health complications, and mainly it brings down our economy. Because any Kenyan who is slowed down in his production, in his daily activity because of alcohol, then that means even the Kenya government will not get taxes as they require. The economy will not grow to the level it's supposed to be. And the cost of health will be higher because we will have to treat more alcohol-related issues.
And again, what strategies do you think maybe there might be put in place to make sure that the resurgence of illicit brew in the country doesn't escalate?
Definitely. There are those strategies that have to be put in place. For example, when we look at the health services, we need a health service that is more responsive towards alcohol addiction. Let us not stigmatize people with alcoholic issues. Let the hospitals be able to offer proper mental health counseling and alcohol reduction systems. We also have community action. We can have the community level, creating more awareness, bringing focus group discussions within the community so that the community can raise the awareness of the young people and the consumers of alcohol, showing them the dangers that they are going to go through. Another thing is having drink and driving policies and enforcing them. Because once the alcohol is consumed, then most of the times we see people driving cars and causing major road accidents, and we're losing innocent lives. The other strategy is to reduce the availability of alcohol. I mean, when you walk around in Nairobi, you can see alcohol readily available. And this is leading to, because it's available, many Kenyans, because perhaps due to mental distress, stress, lack of employment, there are many underlying issues to why people use alcohol. However, the availability of alcohol is one of the reasons that there is a market for this alcohol. Even the marketing, the government needs to regulate marketing. I remember back in the days during Motudho's time, former Nakada chief Motudho.
That's true.
He had come up with strict marketing strategies whereby it was illegal to put up a billboard, advertising alcohol. Today you drive on the highways, you drive on the streets, you drive everywhere. Yeah. You're seeing all these billboards. What happened to the regulations? So therefore, we are calling upon government to deal with this multi-sectoral matter in different ways by having NACADA have more enforcement and ensuring availability and marketing of alcohol is controlled. And the other one is pricing policies. You see, I remember the Minister of Trade, former Minister of Trade, Moses Kuria, talked about there is no way a 200 ml or 250 ml spirit alcohol can cost less than 200 shillings. And yet when you go to the market today, you readily find alcohol costing that much. Clearly it shows you that there are some shortcuts, because if you're going to produce alcohol to the level according to the regulation, it must be more expensive because of cost of production and also the checks that go through, that alcohol has to go through, which you have to get certification. So the cost, where the pricing policy has to be looked into. And as I sum up also, we need to do more monitoring and surveillance. The police need to be on high alert. They already know who is manufacturing the illicit brew. They need to increase their surveillance, and also at the point of production, I am sure the regulatory bodies have a testing part to see the content. Is it the content that is allowed by the public health, or is it beyond? For example, a component such as ethanol, which is now actually was one of the hardest components to find back in the days, is now readily available. So surveillance and regulation. So we're talking about NACADA surveillance, police surveillance, licensing surveillance, county surveillance, through the Alcohol and Control Board. Like in Nairobi County, I'd like to recognize the great work the governor of Nairobi has been doing, where he's taken a multi-sectoral approach by bringing the bar owners, the manufacturers into a committee together with the Alcohol Control Board so that they can find a holistic solution. Because you know Nairobi is actually the industrial town of Kenya, or the city. So a lot of this manufacturing is happening here. So we expect much more to be done. Yes.
You mentioned something to do with the police surveillance and all that. While growing up, all of us in the village, we've seen the dens where the illicit brew is made. But most of the times we've had the police officers come to those places and then they can do literally nothing. Do you think maybe we are headed somewhere if something is done?
Definitely. When we start dealing with the police officers at the high level, at the county level, county commander level, provincial police commander level, that if there is any death that occurs because of illicit brew in your county, the national government, the executive government of His Excellency William RUTO and Rigathi Gachagua will hold that particular county administrator or police commander liable. So now there is no more excuse for the local chief to say that there is a power above them that is receiving something and allowing this to go on. Everybody has to be responsible. And in fact, there is an oath of office. Every chief, every administrator takes. This is the time that oath of office has to be in operation. Because we need to have a reformed, transformed, and booming country. A country that deserves to be better than where it is. And alcohol consumption, both economically, financially, socially, has cost this country enormous. So this is the best time to fight against this, so that we can restore the dignity of this country, we can restore the sanity of homes and houses and families, because alcohol has really destroyed this nation. And at the same time, because it's also a service industry within the tourism sector, it has also created employment. But that is when alcohol is being consumed as per the control. But what we are seeing of late, we are seeing a lot of illicit alcohol consumption and production. Yes.
Thank you so much for your sentiments. Let's switch gears to the Raila's bid to clinch for the top position in the AU. Siaya Governor James Orengo added his voice to those endorsing the candidature of Azimio leader Raila Odinga for the position of the chairman of the African Union Commission. He says that Odinga has got vast experience, impeccable credentials, and great vision for the continent. And of course, many other leaders are in support for the Raila's bid for the AU, including the UDA party. Let's take a look at what Raila says about if he gets the position.
I have been consulting widely among friends. As the general said, he is one of my closest friends on the continent. And I intimated to him that if there should be interest, I will myself be keen to serve the continent of Africa. I'm inclined to accept the challenge. Should the leadership of Africa want my services, I am ready and offer myself to be of service to this continent. And I've asked my friend to continue to be a good ambassador and talk to other people elsewhere. And therefore today I want to make it public that I'm ready, yes, to go for the chairmanship of the African Union. Africa is the richest continent on the planet Earth in terms of minerals and general raw materials.
And that was Raila Odinga, the Azimio chief, saying that the position for the AU is best described for that. And of course, from you where you sit, Edward, could it be a trap door? Why is the government more so ensuring that they want the Raila to get the seat?
Wow. I think we should not look at it that way. We should be thanking the government of William Samoei Ruto for actually spearheading this entire matter. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the PS of Foreign Affairs, the Cabinet Secretary of Foreign Affairs, who you saw the other day when he was at the African Union Heads of State pre-summit. And he gave the speech of the president. And now, as you know, today and yesterday, the president has been in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, for the Heads of State Summit. So therefore, I don't want us to politicize this matter. In fact, it would be wrong to politicize such a Pan-African move. And indeed, it shows that our president is a true patriot and a true Pan-African who sees beyond the party politics that majority of the people look through. Raila Odinga is actually more suitable for this. Secondly, East Africa has not served as the AU chairmanship of late. And I know we've served before, but of late we've had South Africa, that was before Faki, and then we had now Faki from West Africa. And before that we had, before South Africa, we had North Africa. Now it's time for East Africa. And when the president, in his wisdom and his advisors, saw that Raila Odinga was the most suitable, indeed he is the most suitable. First of all, Raila Odinga comes with a big experience, a lot of experience, especially dealing in African matters. Raila Odinga was a high envoy for infrastructure at the AU for the last 3 or 4 years. Raila Odinga has got networks all over Africa. As you saw the other day, Obasanjo, General Obasanjo, former president of Nigeria, was here to break the news and to show support. And he also went to meet the president in Nyeri. And so you can see that Raila Odinga is a statesman. And indeed, Africa needs Raila Odinga.
But now many
Raila Odinga has fought for democracy. Raila Odinga has been consistent in that matter of transforming countries.
Yeah.
Whether he's won an election in Kenya or not, that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
But today, we're raising the flag of Kenya with Raila Amolo Odinga. And like any Kenyan who goes out there representing our country, it is our obligation and our patriotic obligation to support them 100%.
I like that. But many could be asking, what happens to the opposition now when he clinches the top seat, or rather if he gets the job?
You see, first of all, remember even when the clip you showed us, Raila talked about Africa is the richest continent. Brother, put politics aside. We need, listen, no, I'm saying, forget about the gap for now. The gap that Raila has identified, that Africa is the richest continent, that is the most important thing for Africa today. Because we have Eastern Congo, full of minerals. We have all over Africa, even here in Kenya. We are full of minerals, yet we are the poorest continent in the world. So we need a brave leader. We need a courageous leader. We need a leader like Raila Amolo Odinga who will go out there and conquer for Africa. And I know he will be supported by William Samoei Ruto, and they will work together hand in hand. Because as you know, one thing you're forgetting also is the announcement which you have not made, that William Samoei Ruto just ended his chairmanship as a climate action at the AU Commission and was given a new leadership role for institutional reforms. So it clearly shows you that Raila Odinga has accepted that William Samoei Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya, rightfully elected, and the country is ready to move on.
Does it mean that when Raila Odinga now gets the seat, the politics and all that, the ODM recruitment drive that has been ongoing in the country, does it mean we'll come to a standstill?
You see, Raila Odinga has got his own choice, and he's made a choice to be non-political. He's out of the political game for now. That gives young people and other people of ODM and that side to set up, organize themselves, because 2027 is still far away, so we don't want to discuss that now. What we want to focus is, you know the name RAO, R-A-O. It's got a new abbreviation, which means Revive Africa Once More. That's what we want to focus on. Raila reviving Africa so that Africa can reach its global and desired position.
Okay, now that maybe Raila Odinga gets the seat, as a country, how best do we benefit? Just winding up.
Yes, we best benefit because, first of all, we have Raila as the AU president or the AU chairman. So obviously, you know, charity begins at home. We expect Raila Odinga to favor Kenya and look at Kenya with favorable eyes, because we are the ones who have gotten him where he is. Secondly, I expect that Raila Odinga is going to work with a lot of respect and honor with His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, and he will go and take back his words of saying that William Ruto is an absentee president. You can clearly see the trips that William Samoei Ruto has been taking have bore fruit even for the opposition leader. The same opposition leader who was accusing William Samoei Ruto is today going to become a beneficiary of William Samoei Ruto's travels abroad. Just like William Samoei Ruto said, he's creating jobs with his trips abroad. The bilateral agreements. You understand? Yes.
Thank you so much, Edward, for your sentiments. And of course, that brings some light on why we need Raila Odinga on that seat. And of course, thank you for sharing some light on the illicit brew crackdown in the country. That was Edward Githaiga, the Chief Inspiration Officer for Africa 480. And many thanks for joining us for this peaceful discussion about what happened throughout the week. That is it from the desk. My name is John Matava. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Josephine Ouko. Good night. Bye-bye for now. or at least we have some more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks for your great sentiments.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that was nice explanations.
I hope it came out well.
Ah, it came out well.
Yeah.
What people really needed to hear.
Yes.
But you were taking sides.